Florentine, I want to jump back to this idea of he is the creator of all things. Christ is preeminent in and over all creation. Creation obeys God. You remember with the disciples, the big storm coming along, Christ down there sleeping, hanging out, no big deal. Storm's going crazy, disciples getting all freaked out, and Jesus comes up, speaks to the storm and says, be still. Be still. His creation obeys him. And just like in everything else that's going on, it obeys. Okay, moon, you stay right where you're supposed to be. Sun, you stay right where you're supposed to be. They recognize that they were created and they obey God. So they, in and of itself, they know they've been created. So creation obeys God. The question is, does his human creation obey him? Do we obey God? I would say sometimes no, we don't. And yet, the greatest of his creation, the human being, and oftentimes we go, yeah, I know, yeah, whatever, but I have my own ideas, and I have my own thoughts, and I have my own beliefs, especially in today's culture. It's kind of old, and times are different, and so I'm going to kind of just be malleable and going to kind of fit in with the way things are. And so, yeah, I know there's places and there's things, but, this is what I believe. This is what I think. Or this is how I'm going to live my life. And it's like, well, but that's not obedience. That's not obedience. And then the question is, we're talking about supremacy, is does Christ have preeminence in and over our life? Does he have preeminence in and over our life? And I guess a good way to figure that out is his word. Are we living according to his word? Are we see, there's different things described. Someone can say, oh yeah, I live biblically. Yeah, but the biblical part that you're living are the things that are saying, hey, don't live this way. I'm living biblical. So you're treating people bad, you're all this kind of stuff, and you're rude and all this kind of, no. These are the things that says you're walking in the flesh. It says, don't walk in the flesh, walk in the spirit. So if we find ourselves that we're not in line, we're not walking this way, we're treating people different ways, we're choosing the things that we're going to agree with in the Word, suggests to me that it doesn't have supremacy in our life. The song way back, either very late 90s or very early 2000s, Matt Redman wrote that song. And it's interesting because things are so much different today than they were back then. Back then, you had some nice stage lights and things, but you didn't have the light show. You didn't have the smoke machines and everything like that back then that we're seeing in some places today. But even back then, he started to feel like, the focus isn't really about Jesus. It seems like we're spending a lot of time focused on this technology and all these things and the lights and stuff. And so he writes this song, it's all about you. And he decides for a time that we're going to turn all those other things off and just have standard lights. And we're going to spend some time in worship, and we're going to do this for a period of time. And he writes this song, and we still sing it today. It's all about you, Lord. It's all about you. But I'm wondering how often when we go to church and we sing that song that we're lying. Because it's not. It's about my will. It's about what I want. It's about, I know you told me this or you told me that, or I know your word says this and the word says that, but. And then we go to church and go, all about you, Lord. It's all about you. It's like, sometimes I have to check my heart before I sing that song. It's like, how am I doing today? How was I doing yesterday? Where am I at? Is the Spirit prompting me in any kind of way that maybe that I needed to put in check to get back in line? Maybe whatever. I was like, okay, all about you, Jesus, all about you. It's like, really? Is it? Is our life really about Jesus? Or is it about what I want to do? Are we even being sensitive and listening enough to sometimes a still small voice? And yes, sometimes someone has to be louder because we're not listening. is he's given us direction, or he's calling us, he's prompting, he's desiring for us to do X, Y, or Z, get our attention, and we're too busy doing our thing. Because, hey, I got this, man. It's busy. We got a lot going on in California. It's busy. Now, I understand, Idaho and these places, Montana, ain't nothing going on. It's a bunch of nothing. So they got a lot of time to sit around and meditate and think about the Lord. But, man, I'm busy. There's a lot going on here. I'll hook up with you later. It's kind of like we invite Jesus, hey, come live in my house. And here's your room. And he's waiting there every day for us. And we go by, hey, a little later, I'm busy right now. We'll hang out a little bit later on. And every day we come in the house, hey, I'm still going to meet with you, still going to get with you. And we go by him every day, and every day he's still sitting in there in that room, in that little foyer or whatever in the house. Just wait. You going to come spend time with me? I'm still here. You invited me into your home. Well, we haven't had dinner. We haven't had time to sit and chat. We haven't had any time together. And it's like, wow. Now, try that with your spouse if you get married. It ain't going to work. Try that with like a friendly roommate. If you pass and you don't have any kind of interaction, people are going to think, man, you're a rude son of a gun. But yet, so often we do the, hey, Christ, yes, I come down, I want to come in and be a part, I give you my life, I surrender. But then all of a sudden we got no time for it because we're so busy. And he's going, hey, I need your ticket. There's this need over here, or there's this thing over here, or this what over there. And it's like, I'll get with you. Well, that suggests to me it's not really about him. It's about me. And that would suggest to me that he doesn't have supremacy in and over my life. But I do. Because I'm in control. And so my question tonight would be, in light of all these things, is that we would take a moment. It's a weekend. We got a few days. Sunday's coming. Let's get it right before Sunday. So Sunday will be even greater. But evaluate, where are we? Where we are in the trajectory of that. Maybe we're doing fantastic. Maybe there's a couple of things that, whatever. Maybe there would be times that, like, way over here. Man, it's been kind of a while since I've really spent some good time with the Lord. And, but I listen, cruising down the road or whatever. I'm on the freeway, I got it on the radio. Okay, that's good. It's better than nothing. But it's those times we're able to just sit there and meditate on it. So I think God would say that to us. Do I have supremacy over your life and in your life? Or are you the one on the throne of your life? And so it's a question we've got to answer. And something that we should always bring before the Lord always. The Word of God says that it's sharper to a sword. It'll bone and marrow. And it's like the song, I changed my heart, oh God. There's that other one, search me and try me. It's based off the passage where, hey, will you do an evaluation, God? Will you let me know where I am in the situation? Because if I try to do it in my own mind, I'm going to think I'm pretty good. Because I'm going to look at the other person that's not doing so good, and I'm going to think, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. That fall down drunk next door, I'm doing great compared to that guy. But the plumb line is this. It's not the drunk next door. So we ought to constantly take our life before the Lord and ask. What better person to ask than God? And ask him, Lord, would you impress upon me, would you speak to my life and let me know, do you have preeminence in my life? Or if I somehow threw you in the back seat. So I would recommend that we would often take that before the Lord.